It's Valentine's Day. That's right, man. Valentine's Day here on the Screen Team. And what better way to discuss Valentine's Day and love but with three dudes talking about movies about guys.
I love movies.
We've got Jamie Hickson. We've got Jake Whitlow here in the Screen Team studios. And guys, first off, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Are your wives mad that you're here talking to me and not taking them out to a fancy dinner?
I don't know Candy's mood is all over the place, being pregnant and all.
That's right. Hey, have you heard?
No, I hadn't heard.
Yeah,
I'm an expectant father.
All right.
High five, everybody. A new member of the Screen Team will be coming September, August?
September, early September, late August, probably. That's what we're thinking.
That's very cool, man. Well, the movies that we have here today have to deal with, I guess, like coming of age kind of stories here. And the first one we're going to do is a movie called Explorers. This one kind of came out in the mid-1980s, right? Kind of like a typical kind of 80s kind of kid thing, like a E.T. or a Goonies, kind of in that kind of vein, right?
Definitely kind of a goofy, pseudo sci-fi kids movie, adventure film, coming of age, and all of that. And I really enjoyed this movie as a kid. I vaguely remembered it as a kid, and I just decided not too long ago just kind of look it up and give it another watch and watch it again and see what I missed, what flew over my head as a kid. And what turned out is I still really enjoy the movie just as much as an adult as I did when I was young, pretty young, when this one came out.
So what's the story here? We've got three. The main focus is on three young boys here. We've got River Phoenix's character, who's like a super smart, intelligent kind of guy.
Yeah, he's
you got Ethan Hawke, who's the kind of the dreamer of the
that's for sure.
Of the trio, and the other one's kind of like the muscle.
Yeah,
he's
kind of the what do we call it? The kid from the wrong side of the tracks, wrong side of the tracks with the heart of gold.
Right.
And isn't that he's one of the kids in the Goonies, isn't he? Or am I thinking of a different actor?
I don't think
Who's
so.
the other? Who plays Darren? I can't remember.
Jason Preston is his name.
Oh. Wow, he looks a lot like...
he was in Gremlins, too, if that helps you.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's funny, because he looks like the kid from the Goonies. That's funny.
Yeah. So, what is it that they designed? They designed like a spaceship, right?
Yeah, it's a spaceship or a orb that, I don't know, totally encompasses whatever, and it allows them to travel at ludicrous speeds without any physical harm to themselves. That kind of comes to Ethan Hawke's character in a dream.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the plot of the story, and you find more about why he dreamed that later, but they spend a lot of time, a lot of the movie is them kind of experimenting with it, and first they're just playing around in the basement, and they end up tearing up the bookshelf and tearing up the basement with this just little orb that goes all over the place.
Right.
The funny thing I thought was it's a very scientific based thing that they've come up with, but it ignores a lot of practical science to pull it off.
Yeah.
So, because like if you were actually floating in this orb, it probably would hurt you when it stopped. You would slam against it or something.
Of course.
But anyway, it's a movie. So
yeah. I'm back and forth with this movie. The first half of this movie I loved because it was in that kind of 80s vein of Flight of the Navigator or Goonies or Daryl, those cool kind of 80s kids movies, and then it goes out into outer space and it gets weird, man. It gets really weird.
Then you get to see inside Joe Dante's head. I think is what happened.
But just the acting performances in the very beginning were good, and the flow was really great, and the music was good, and the visuals. I really liked the special effects, even though some were kind of cheesy 80s stuff. It still had a cool look to it. And
it fit,
And it had the whole kind of Tron cartoon look to it as well in certain scenes. But then it goes out in space, and I was lost from there, man. I thought I was done after that. But the first half of this, I was reading some stuff on IMDb, and apparently when they were shooting the film, they weren't done. There was a lot of scenes still left to come, and the studio just said, "You're done. Yeah. This is what you got. This is what we're putting out." So it'd have been interesting to see what the full vision of It might have been more space stuff, Jamie. Who knows? They probably saw that and be like, okay, we're done.
They would have given the one really good actor more screen time, Meshack Taylor.
Who's Meshack Taylor?
Anthony from Designing Women. He's the other helicopter pilot guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he had
awesome.
what, like two scenes?
two scenes. Yeah, in the whole
That's
movie.
awesome.
Yeah, it seems like there was, and that's the one thing realized watching it as an adult is the end leaves a lot to be desired. It kind of just gets fuzzy. There's not a whole lot of plot, towards the end, which the movie calls Explorers. So they're exploring what they've discovered, but it seemed like there was more adventure to be had than the way it ended up.
More money to do it.
Yeah, just wasn't. Studio said nope.
The movie is rated PG. You think kids are gonna like it? Would your kids dig this film?
I'm not really sure. My little guy would probably like the aliens and all the silliness, and my oldest one might like the first part, like you were saying. It's got because of the effects and he could probably relate to a couple of the characters.
Yeah,
in a way, because they're about the same age. So
yeah, and it was cool to see, because this was Ethan Hawke's and River Phoenix's first movie, and it was kind of cool to see them and how good they are as actors, even as little kids.
Yeah.
So it's called Explorers. You can find it streaming on Netflix. You can find it on DVD as well. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about what is highly regarded as one of the best films of the year. It's called Boyhood, and we'll review that next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.